Өөрчлөгдөн хувьсаж буй өсөлтөөний нэрмэд Монгол улсын хөгжлийн шийдэл юу вэ? Хэрвээ та энэ асуултанд хариултыг авах хүсвэл Отгонбаттай хамт англиар ярилцъя нэвтрүүлэгтэй хамт байна. Hello, this is Together with Otgonbattai, Let's Speak in English television program. We have a special guest today, Mr. Ali Yan, representative of the Taipeii Trade and Economic Office in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Thanks for the time coming to our program, and I'm really looking forward to having a great conversation with you.
Hi, Dr. Otgonbattai. Sebeno, it's nice to meet you. It's my pleasure to be with you today.
You've been living in Mongolia for a while, and your office is obviously very active promoting trade and economic relations between Mongolia and Taiwan. Would you please start talking about your organization, why does your organization exist, and what are the main activities of this office, and some of the accomplishments, big accomplishments you have achieved so far?
Since the establishment of our office in 2002, because of the increasing relationship between Taiwan and Mongolia, so we set up our office here. After the establishment of our office, the cooperation between our two sides increased a lot in many fields, such as public health, such as education, culture, trade, and investment, even humanitarian aid. I would like to single out our cooperation in the field of education. Actually, meanwhile, there are more than 1,000 Mongolian students studying in Taiwan for bachelor, for master, or even for PhD degrees. Some of them just for Chinese language studying. These students, I believe, after their graduation, they will not only make contribution to Mongolian economic development, but also could be served as bridges between our two countries.
So why is Taiwan so attractive destination for Mongolian students? I mean, we have U.S., Canada, Australia, so many other places to go to. Why, like over 1,000 Mongolian students went to study in Taiwan? What makes Taiwan a great place to study?
Generally speaking, Taiwan is a very friendly environment to foreigners. So Mongolian students went to Taiwan, they can learn Chinese language from the environment, and also they can learn the specialism from the universities. And because our environment is also kind of using the English, so they can learn the three things at the same time.
I know that I've been to Taiwan many times, and I know that Taiwan is a high-tech, knowledge-based economy with GDP of $20,000 per person. I mean, that's one of the Asian tigers, and I think there's a lot for Mongols to learn from Taiwanese. And is Mongolian students studying any engineering, or what are Taiwan's miracle products? Like, I know HTC, but that's probably the only thing I know. But any other like high-tech products or services that most people don't know it's from Taiwan?
Yes, indeed. Taiwan is quite well renowned by its high-tech and all these ICT products like HTC, like Acer, like BenQ, or some other electronics products. I should say the Mongolian students studied in Taiwan, according to our statistics and study, most of them, up to 95% of these Mongolian students study in Taiwan, they are studying in the business-related subject, so like business management. Only very few students study in the engineering or someone related department. So I encourage Mongolian students when they go to Taiwan for higher education, they should consider to study in this engineering related department.
Өөрчлөгдөн хувьсаж буй өрсөлдөөний нэрмэд Монгол улсын хөгжлийн шийдэл юу? Өөрөөр тань асуултанд хариултыг авах хүсвэл Отгонбаттай хамт англиар ярилцъя нэвтрүүлэгтэй хамт байна.
So, are the Taiwanese universities providing any scholarships? Is that one of the reasons? I mean, you say that most people study in business. I mean, they can study business here. I mean, they should go there to learn mechanical engineering or electronic engineering. I mean, those should be more beneficial for Mongolia. So, is there like a lot of scholarships being given in your knowledge?
I think these students study in the commercial-related subject, not maybe just because of the local job market orientation. So that's why they choose this management, business management, or some industry management related department. However, Taiwan universities, most of them they provide different kind of financial support to foreign students. So sometimes the scholarship will waive the tuitions. Some of them will be providing some stipend or pocket money, monthly pocket money, or some of them will even provide like dormitory, these things that greatly help the foreign students. So maybe this is another reason that the Mongolian students they are interested to study in Taiwan.
Mr. Ali Yan, I guess, please tell us a little bit about your own background. Where were you educated, and of course your career path of, how did you end up find any challenges of living in a country, exotic, crazy country like Mongolia, but any of them, I don't know, air pollution, is it becoming difficult to you, or what are the challenges of you living here?
Before I come into Mongolia, I have been posted in Kuwait and Jordan. These two countries are also considered the nomadic culture. It's dominant. So I don't know. Maybe this is the reason why I got the assignment to be working in Mongolia. But however, actually, it's a great honor for me, and it's also a great pleasure for me to work in Mongolia. Being a foreigner in Mongolia, I felt that Mongolia is a beautiful country, also a safe country, a stable country. Most of Mongolian people, you are very kind-hearted and very hospitable and very friendly to foreigners. So I do enjoy staying here.
So obviously you have all the data of why Mongolians or Taiwanese travel to each other. What do most Taiwanese come to do in Mongolia, and the versus of Mongolians going to Taiwan? It's obviously the majority of its study purposes, but any other like business people? I know that people go there to get coal stone, for the hodok, that's like for every Mongolian male, that's like a dream to go to Taiwan and get a coal stone to put it on the hodok, So, is there any special niche tourism or any other that you're aware of?
According to our statistics, since last year we have 2,300 Mongolian tourists visit Taiwan. Most of them, I think, they are students or they are friends or relative of these students went to Taiwan. Part of them definitely for the business purpose, as you just mentioned, that some tourist attraction or business opportunity for them, like the coral stone, which is commonly used for the sniff bottle in Mongolia. Last year we also received 1,700 tourists from Taiwan. They come to Mongolia mainly in the summer season as a tourist. During the summer, Mongolia is very beautiful and the weather is very pleasant. They went to the outskirts of the Ulaanbaatar city desktop wallpaper.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the endless green steps, connected with the blue sky. It's very beautiful, very attractive to Taiwanese tourists.
Өөрчлөгдөн хувьсаж буй өсөлтөөний нэрийн үед Монгол улсын хөгжлийн шийдэл юу вэ? Өөрөөр таних асуултанд хариултыг авах хүсвэл Отгонбаттай хамт англиар ярилцъя нэвтрүүлэгтэй хамт байна.
Someone told once that Taiwan was economic competitiveness index was number 6 in the world. That's pretty high, you know. So how does Taiwan come so economically so competitive? What makes Taiwan so economically powerful?
The competitive index of Taiwan, according to the World Economic Forum evaluation, Taiwan ranked at 6 or sometimes it's 12. It's varied from time to time. But however, we are quite outstanding in this competition. I should say the major reason for that competitiveness is the education in Taiwan. Taiwan puts a lot of emphasis on education. So government injects a lot of the budget, and even the people, the citizens, they pay a lot of attention to education. So since the childhood, we have a lot of things to read, to learn, and preparing our competitiveness in the future. As a whole, I think that this will increase the Taiwan's competitiveness as a whole.
So you are aware that Mongolia is currently having a little bit of economic turmoil. Of our currency is about 20% depreciation in value, and a lot of the businesses are kind of crying out, you know, we're having a tough time. What should Mongolia do, like when we look into the future in terms of economic competitiveness, like what should we do to compete in this global economy? And how can we really be winners? Because surrounded by China and Russia, huge big economies, do we have any chance to be as developed, as hot as Taiwan, you know, because that's like looking at Taiwan in terms of industrialization, in terms of economic development. We want to be like Taiwan, but do we have a chance? What should we do, in your opinion?
Actually, I heard a lot of complaint about the ongoing economic situation in Mongolia right now. But as a foreigner, I have a different sense. You know, for the last few years, Mongolia enjoyed a very speedy and dazzling economic performance. You know, almost 3 years in a row, you enjoyed 2-digit economic growth. So I'm not an economist, so maybe I'm not so properly qualified to give you any comment. But I think, from my personal point of view, I think in the foreseen future, the mining sector is still remain a significant role in Mongolian economic development. However, I think the government and the people of Mongolia sense the importance of economic diversification and sustainability. So from last year, the government launched a very visionary project to support over 800 SMEs, the small and medium enterprises. With such a visionary project, it will further boost the Mongolian economy. According to our experience, these SMEs will create a lot of job opportunity for its citizens. Given the fact that Taiwan 98% of Taiwanese companies are SMEs, so I think we have a lot of experience that Mongolian businessmen might be interested. And we are looking forward to the cooperation with the Mongolian counterpart. On the other hand, I guess it's as important as the infrastructure or the investment in the hardware. You should put more resources in the human resources. Yeah, So that means that education could be vital for your future sustainable economic growth.
Өөрчлөгдөн хувьсаж буй өсөлтөөний нэрмэд Монгол улсын хөгжлийн шийдлийг хэрвээ та энэ асуултанд хариултыг авах хүсвэл Отgonbattai хамт англиар ярилцъя нэвтрүүлэгтэй хамт байна.
Was it Taiwanese strategy to send the professors to the US or the Western developed countries to get high tech or knowledge and bring it back home? When I was visiting Taiwan, I was very impressed by the quality of the industrialization and the quality of the products. For example, bakery is one of the. I mean, the taste is wonderful. You know, the quality was really good. I really thought that there's a lot of opportunity. That if we bring the Taiwanese-style bakery into Mongolia, there is great potential. Obviously, medical field is also something. The quality of hospitals in Taiwan. My wife had a LASIK surgery, in Taiwan several years ago. The quality is really good. The quality of the hospital and the medical service, medical tourism. I think there's a lot of potential there. Of course, education is big for me. The level of education, the quality of education compared to the Western is similar, but the cost is very small. And how can we bring that know-how from Taiwan to, like, for example, design of products? The design programs is very good. So there's so many things that we can learn from Taiwan in terms of development, in terms of changing our industries. And so what would you say on this bill?
As we just mentioned, Mongolia right now is developing the SMEs, the small and the medium enterprises. These companies, they are very flexible. Somehow they are working as a work paid, so they are very active and they are very flexible. So they can respond to the economic change in a very swift way. So I encourage the Mongolian to have more small and medium enterprises. In this case, we definitely can provide a lot of things to share with Mongolian partners. As you mentioned, the bakery or even in the hospital or even in some ICT high-tech companies. All these companies, I think we can promote cooperation or some exchanges or some joint project between these enterprises.
Taiwan has obviously no natural resources. I mean, I don't know. Mongolia has so much natural resources, but it doesn't mean that because we have natural resources we can be economically competitive or developed.
It's right that Taiwan is lacking of natural resources. We are fully aware of that situation, so that's why we invest a lot of the money and a lot of resources into the human resources. That means we emphasize the importance of education. For long period of time in the history, it's constitutionally regulated the budget for education, that no less than 15% of the government budget should be allocated for educational sector. Mm-hmm. This is quite significant and also very helpful to the to our education, to our students. So I believe Mongolia now is also on the right track. You have so many youth and a lot of the newborn and many young people. They have the desire to have a higher or better education. Government is also paying a lot of attention to this issue. So you put a lot of money for the new school, for the new teacher, or for higher education for universities. I think you are doing the right thing and in the future, right direction. Yeah. So in the future, definitely you will achieve your goal.
Өөрчлөгдөн хувьсаж буй өсөлтөөний нэрмэд Монгол улсын хөгжлийн шийдлийг хэрвээ та энэ асуултанд хариултыг авах хүсвэл Отгонбаттай хамт англиар ярилцъя нэвтрүүлэгтэй хамт байна.
Kind of evident of the close relationship between Taiwan and Mongolia from the history and the culture. The original Genghis Khan portrait was kept in the National Palace Museum. Of course, this is a replica of that portrait. The original one was made of silk, so you can tell from the detail of this painting. It looks like a silk texture. This painting was made during the days of Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan is the grandson to Genghis Khan. According to our, as far as I know, Kublai Khan, he never met his grandfather, but however, in his royal court, still so many subjects, they know Genghis Khan quite well. So the Kublai Khan instructed the 4 royal court painter to make the painting based on their description. After all these 4 painters made the portrait, they pick up one of them most similar, most closer to the Genghis Khan's facial feature. So this is we have the honor to preserve this very precious, very invaluable painting in our National Palace Museum.
So how did the portrait of Genghis Khan end up in Taiwan's Palace Museum? Did the people, when they migrated from China to Taiwan, did they bring, I mean, what's the story?
Actually, it sounds like a miracle, and it's a long story. This portrait kept in the Forbidden City since Kublai Khan's dynasty, Yuan dynasty, and passing down to Ming dynasty and to Qing dynasty. After the revolution of the Republic of China and established the first republic in Beijing, our government collected all the artifacts from the Forbidden City. This is one of these artifacts. We turned the Forbidden City into the National Palace Museum at that time. However, later on, the Second War happened between China and Japan. So we moved out all these artifacts from all treasures from the Forbidden City to Nanjing. And later, because the spread out of this war, so we moved it again to Chongqing. After the Civil War, this treasure back to Beijing and stayed in the National Palace Museum. Unfortunately, due to the civil war between the nationalist China and the communist China, so once again, these treasures moved to Taiwan and stay in Taiwan till now.
So I heard that the secret history of Mongols is still in the original print exists in the. So every day they turn one page for the people to allow to read.
Yeah, this is another interesting object we preserved in Taiwan. The secret history of Mongolia. We do have 2 copies. One is from the Ming Dynasty. We believe this is the earliest version of secret history of Mongolia. It was kept in National Palace Museum. Another version is made in the Qing Dynasty. That one is kept in our National Library. So both of them are highly interested by Mongolian scholars. Every year we receive some scholars or some professors to study that book.
Өөрчлөгдөн хувьсаж буй өсөлтөөний нэрийн үед Монгол улсын хөгжлийн шийдэл юу? Хэрвээ та энэ асуултанд хариултыг авахыг хүсвэл Отгонбаттай хамт англиар ярилцъя нэвтрүүлэгтэй хамт байна. What I noticed is when I was traveling on high-speed rail or MRT, when I looked at Taiwanese people, they're so polite, you know.
they're not very aggressive, and the culture, the people, the safe. I guess the Taiwan is also seems like very safe place for people, especially for students to live there for a longer period of time.
Yeah, it's indeed many students or many foreigners stay in Taiwan. They enjoy living there. According to some statistics showing that Taiwan people are very friendly to foreigners. I think 1 out of 3 times, if some people ask him for the direction on the street, he will personally guided by Taiwanese citizen to that place. That's showing how friendly of Taiwanese people to foreigners, and that is also because this is also a reason why Taiwan is considered relatively safer and stable and comfortable environment for foreigners.
Is there any attractive like tourist destinations in Taiwan that Mongolians should go see? What would be like number 1 and 2, 3 top tourist destinations?
The first one I would recommend it to Mongolian tourists is the eastern part of Taiwan, which is called the Tairugge or Hualien. It's a very beautiful mountainous scenery together with the ocean scenery. So it's a must-go place for I will recommend it to the Mongolian tourists. The other place is like the National Palace Museum, because it keeps so many Mongolian-related aspects, and also Taipei City and Salmon Lake. It's also very beautiful. It's situated in the mountain, a beautiful lake. Of course, you can go to southern part of Taiwan. There near to close to Kending or some area in Pingdong. You can enjoy the sunshine and the tropical weather there, and staying on the seashore to have seafood or any water activity. It's very, 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 very enjoyable.
Taiwan opens its heart to you. Taiwan, the heart of Asia.
What's your favorite food in Mongolia?
For sure, actually.
What about in Taiwanese food?
Seafood more.
Like what?
Like a lot of things, like crab, like lobster, yeah.
Lobster?
Yeah.
What do you like most about Mongolian people's personality or culture? What's the best word that would describe Mongolian culture?
Honest, straight, and kind-hearted, I should say.
Just add one word in front of Taiwan and say Taiwan. How would you do? What would you say?
We do have some word like that. We say Taiwan touch your heart.
This is, together with Otgonbattai, Let's Talk in English television program. We had our guest today, Mr. Ali Yain, representative of the Taipei Trade and Economic Representative Office in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Ali Yain, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We really enjoyed our kind of interview today, and best of luck in your future work in Mongolia.
Thank you. Appreciate it for coming, and wish you every success.
Thank you.
Өөрчлөгдөн хувьсаж буй өсөлтөөний нэрмэд Монгол улсын хөгжлийн шийдэл юу? Хэрвээ та энэ асуултанд хариултыг авах хүсвэл Отгонбаттай хамт англиар ярилцъя, нэвтрүүлэгтэй хамт орно.